And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho. And today we're starting things out looking at 171 angstroms wavelength of the local yellow dwarf, 48 hours worth of data here from the SDO, 0 sunspots, minor active region rising in the southeast, minor active region setting near the equator on the west, small filament in the northeast, North Pole coronal hole looking pretty obvious there, and North Pole current sheet currently in charge, no pun intended. Next, let's look at helioviewer.org. Check out the fields. There's 171 angstroms. There are the magnetic fields, and they're looking pretty disorganized. Here's 304 angstroms, and you can see filaments in the east and the west. There's the fade to 171 angstroms. Real-time solar wind's been showing some pretty big striations here. This looks like a coronal mass ejection strike, as we see the speed and density coming up nearly simultaneously, making it all the way up to 35 kilometers a second. And you can see right here before this happens, the BT, BZ, and the phi angle all start to shift around. And that's the kind of thing that you would expect to see with a glancing blow coronal mass ejection. So there you have that. We've come off the highs of that strike there. It's down to 11.47 protons per cubic centimeter in terms of the density. BTBZ is still shifted, so this is an ongoing event here. Solar wind speed still quite low, though, at around 300 kilometers a second, having been as low as 286, 285 I see there. Very low measurements, 282. So we saw very, very slow solar wind speed and density before that little glancing blow. KP index made it up to 2. And so let's keep an eye on that. And when I say eye on, well, you get the idea. Here's the current pressure environment, magneto-hydrodynamically speaking. Allow me to vanish while we allow 4 hours of data to amass. Nothing too special going on there, just an increased solar wind density mainly. The kind of thing you'd expect from a glancing blow coronal mass ejection. Here are the ground magnetic perturbations, and you're going to see some magnetic perturbations here induced. We also see some sort of magnetic spillage down into the North Atlantic there from the North Canadian pole, and you can see that evidence that the South Pole is indeed in the Indian Ocean there, south of Australia somewhere. Anyway, there's 4 hours of data on that as well. And let's take a look at transients. So now we like to look at the X-ray emissions of various different objects from the Neil Gorell Swift Bat Observatory. First on the list is typically Sagittarius A star, the core of the Milky Way galaxy, the massive radio source. And we actually just saw a significant X-ray burst from it. You can see that very dense series of transients. And indeed, you do see Sagittarius A star's X-ray emissions slowly getting higher over the past 14 years. A fairly well-known phenomenon here. And I've accidentally taken a screenshot. Perhaps we'll use it in the thumbnail, but I doubt it. Anyway, there are the daily transients from Sagittarius A star. Let's take a look at the Crab Pulsar. There are the transients from the Crab. And it looks like it came back online there with a series of dense X-ray bursts as well. Around the same time as Sagittarius A star produced some transients, a dense series of them. Now the Crab Pulsar is extremely consistent with its X-ray output. You can see right here above 0.2 that constant signal. In fact, it's so consistent it's used to calibrate X-ray telescopes. Next, let's look at Cygnus X1, the first object believed to be a black hole. We like to call it a massive radio source instead. There are the transients from it, and it is not doing anything particularly weird. And you can see its baseline is around 0.05, so it's just below its baseline in a sort of a normal operating range. And lastly, we'll look at Cygnus X3, otherwise known as Deneb, the massive X-ray binary system. And let's see where it's gotten to here in the last couple of weeks, up to around 0.03. So just on its baseline now. So now it's back into its normal operating range. We'll be interested to see if this goes back into a more hyperactive or a more quiescent range like it did the last time. And how about one more object going back to the other side of the galaxy again? Let's check out Vela Pulsar, as it's another fairly consistent X-ray source. And there you can see the X-ray transient emissions of Vela Pulsar. If you want to look at these yourself, don't take our word for it. It's the Neil Gorell Swift Bat Observatory. Next, we're going to look at cosmic rays. And we are streaming live, so you're going to have to bear with me as all these pages load. It won't take long, folks. There is the past 30 days at UPTICK, as well as the past 24 hours. We saw a small peak there around July 1st. And there's Barentsburg. Fairly flat in the past 30 days as well. Going farther south, here's Athens, Greece. And it's looking like some anomalous data there in the past couple of days. Perhaps somebody had too many this weekend. Here is Mexico City. Mexico City seeing some extreme transients. Check it out. Check out those cosmic ray flux numbers. That is an extreme range there. Let's hope all drugs are legalized and Mexican cartels had nothing to do with that. That is a significant set of cosmic ray bursts there, folks. And one nice thing about Mexico City's Cosmic Ray Observatory is that you can access archived data. Now, if you click on Moscow on this site, and this is the links to Cosmic Ray Data, Network of Cosmic Ray Stations site, if you click on Moscow, you'll see a bunch of data there. We're not going to get into it. Maybe one day we'll do a video about this. As they've changed their link there, we're just going to look at Oulu, Finland, and DOMC Antarctica. So there's Oulu, Finland. Tiny uptick over the past 30 days there. And there's DOMC Antarctica. Some missing data. During the Antarctican winter. And welcome to another Smash Lights, where we talk about whatever we want. We're going to have an Amazon affiliate soon, so look for that. We haven't gotten to it this weekend because it was a little bit too busy of a weekend. And again, we are streaming live to Twitch at twitch.tv/SmashoMash. We've been doing all of our daily space weather videos live. Here's what I got into yesterday. Shout out to Don and Becky and Aaron and Gavin and so on. So there's our Velo Shop ride with juniors. Follow us on Instagram. It's instagram.com/SmashoMash. And we've moved into the, what is a nation? Well, it's a nationality, or perhaps a politically organized nationality, or perhaps whatever that means as a third definition. A community of people composed of one or more nationalities and possessing a more or less defined territory and government. A territorial division containing a body of people of one or more nationalities and usually characterized by a relatively large size and independent status, as in a nation of vast size with a small population. Also a group or aggregation or a tribe or federation of tribes. Why am I talking about it? Well, because of yesterday's video. We did a video with Eugene yesterday. Shout out to Eugene Bagashov. Check out his YouTube channel. Go over there, give him a subscribe and a like. It's Eugene the Philosopher. We talk about nationalism for about an hour and 10 minutes. Here's a clip.
The hospital? Aren't they staffed by hundreds and hundreds?
At the end, that's all on the level of rumors. Like, my friend's wife...
He's talking about rumors in terms of what's going on with COVID over there in Belarus, where he's located, and he even explains why this flag is so weird. And Here's a little teaser. The sun rising over the swamp. We're also on BitChute. Check us out over there. Thanks everybody who subscribed, left comments, watched the content. We are highly trending over there in the science and technology section. Thanks to our patrons for being the main source of funding for the content, as we make almost nothing to make these videos. That's going to change pretty soon. We're also on Subscribestar, PayPal, etc. Visit the links. And now we're on NBCnews.com to say nope. Nope. And as far as that goes, nope. Oh, check it out. It's CBSnews.com. Nope. No. Indeed not. And I've opened... I don't know what I've clicked on, but that sucked. No to you, CBS News. And regarding CNN.com, nope. Wearing masks by healthy people and locking down healthy people is an
affront
to science itself. Everybody ought to have the exact same grocery store procedures that you had in November, where you go to the grocery store, you don't cough on me, you don't lick your hands, you pay for your stuff, you leave, you go home, you put it away, you wash your hands, you lick your hands and touch your face as much as you want. Anything else is an
affront
to science and infectious diseases themselves. How dumb can you possibly get? Regarding USA Today, nope. And once I thought I told you, nope. My immune system will crush you like bug. So get up. That's better. I've survived a global pandemic so far. Would you like some merch that includes this image? Well, it's not available yet. Would you like some merch that includes this image? smAsher Price, My First Pandemic, complete with our website across the mask that's covering the whole planet and obscuring its breathing passage. All right, we'll order a prototype to tease the heck out of our viewers and then do a limited production run. And here ends today's Smash Light section. Thanks for tuning into the Smash stream. Please visit our other videos and playlists, whether on YouTube especially, as we've got playlists with hundreds of other videos that are not the daily space weather. Thanks again, Smash Light's viewers. And the next thing we're going to look at is the 10.7 centimeter radial flux, which, by the way, is at 68 solar flux units. And for those of you not understanding the 10.7 centimeter radial flux, it's a proxy for sunspot number. It very directly correlates with sunspot number. And back in 1947, when it was discovered by some Canadians with some World War II radio technology, it was used to monitor solar activity even on cloudy days, as there were no satellites back then like the SDO. And now the radial flux has vanished once again from the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. Let's see if they've changed the Enlil prediction for the coronal mass ejection here. Still forecasting it at the end of the day today into early tomorrow. And while they did actually show a double coronal mass ejection there. Perhaps they're right about that. Maybe there will be a second glancing blow that's stronger. Who knows? Again, I forecasted a KP of 3 on the whole event, and we've only made it to 2 so far, so I stand by my prediction. That's the best I can tell you, folks. We don't see very many X-rays coming out of the sun here. No sort of significant flares. No big proton events there. A tiny, tiny uptick in the past several hours. Nothing to really change that graph significantly. And let's look at some more data, I think. Therefore, I am looking at the GOES magnetometers. And check it out, it's the 1 minute data, and it's showing me absolutely nothing. Let's hope the GOES 16 isn't damaged. Let's bring out the GONG 2 data. Here's the ecliptic plane top view field plot. and we are solidly in the green North Pole current sheet. No surprises there. It's been forecasted will remain there for at least the next probably 48 hours, but I'll say at least 36, as the magnetic environment can change with no warning. And that's part of the reason why we cover the Gong 2 data, part of the National Sunspot Observatory setup. Here's the line of sight field plot, and you can see the B field shown in blue is quite symmetrical. No big surprises there, as we don't see any Earth-facing activity. Have you checked out Comet Neowise yet? It's observable in the early evening sky, northern hemisphere. Lots of photos of it associated with noctilucent clouds. Here's a great article on the Watchers. It's watchers.news. So perhaps have a read. Comet Neowise, it's not going to be back for 7,000 years. And personally, I don't really want to wait around that long. I'm going to have to see if I can get a good low horizon in the north-northeast. So let's see. It'll be visible in the dawn sky around July 11th and become visible again in the evening sky around the 16th. So that's there are some images of Comet Neowise. Read the article, and I'll be doing the same so I know what I'm talking about. Here's where stuff is located in the solar system right now. It's a huge planetary pileup. Uranus is feeling a little bit lonely, but not as lonely as Maki and Haumea. There's where things will be in a week, one day before the new moon on the 20th. Here's what's going on above my head. And if you get up before dawn, you should see quite a pile of objects up there. Jupiter and Saturn and Mars and the moon and Venus and Mercury. That's why we took a photo of Venus yesterday on Instagram. Did you see it? Instagram.com/smAsho. We're not even at 500 followers on Instagram. By the way, we've got a new movie recommendation at smashomash.com/forum. If you weren't aware. From Eugene Bagashov, yes. Little Miss Sunshine from 2006. I have no idea what it's about. It's some kind of a comedy drama or something. Perhaps we'll give that a watch. The only other recommendation is Kelly's Heroes, so go over, set up a login, and tell us what movies you think we should watch next time the government tells us we should lock down. Here's the electron flux over the past year, and we finally come up off the floor here, having seen 2 solid months of incredibly low and flatlined electron flux. Side note, while we're looking at data from Solon.info, which is where this is from, Solon.info/solar has links to all of this. Here are the solar cycles 24 and 25 transition. Here is the cycle 24 to 25 transition. Apparently now being attributed to happening on the 18th of November. So there are the figures there. You've got the 10.7 reached a very low level there at the same time as 360-day sunspot average and so on, and that's how it's calculated. There are some new methods to calculate it coming out now. Also, you can check that out at solon.info/solar. Here's a 3-day electron flux, and this is going to be flatlined until that solar input stops. So don't expect to see this rise into warning levels today. It certainly will not. Here's a total electron content forecast showing us the entire air column between you and your GPS satellite. And we see sort of standard issue anomalies here over Central America and the Caribbean at nighttime, as well as Baja California and so on. Small little anomalies there, nothing to write home about. Here's just the ionosphere layer, and it's looking fairly normal here. Let's bring up the latest image. A little bit anomalous there on the nighttime side. Again, nothing too crazy. Maybe send this image to Mr. MBB333, as it's looking very spooky and scary down there. The fangs of the ionosphere showing themselves. Small earthquake uptick here. No major quakes, but quite a few quakes of significant reportable value. just going to scroll up the list and not read them all and try to conserve my voice and make it unshattered. One of the largest of the past 24 was a 5.3 at depth in Nicaragua. So if you're in Central America, please have an earthquake plan, as that's a deep quake. If that was at the surface, that would be more like a 6 magnitude quake. Continue up the list here. So nothing over a 6 magnitude for the past 24. There's your earthquake rundown. Volcano rundown includes a volcanic uptick as well, hence the title of this video. Suwanusejima back on the list, 7,000 foot ash plume there. Dacono, flight level 7,000 there as it explodes. Popocatépetl also exploding, flight level 19,000 there. Fuego down in Guatemala, 15-foot 1,000 ash plume there. 15,000 foot ash plume there. Sangay exploding, flight level 19,000 there. Revenador exploding, flight level 14,000 there. Sabancaya exploding. Sporadic puff emissions are enough to produce a 23,000 foot plume of ash. And if you can't do a 23,000 foot pole vault, please don't attempt to pole vault the caldera. It could prove unhealthful. Let's look at jet streams. I'm going to have to press refresh. There we go. Here are the jets of the eastern world, looking a little more coherent in the northern hemisphere and quite intense in the southern hemisphere. Western jet streams, there you go. And again, if you want to read about that Watchers article, there you have it. The once in a lifetime comet. Also, before we move into talking about meteorology stuff, apparently it's so hot that it's cold in Norway as they enter July with a record 32 feet of snow. Oh my God, it's so hot that the Arctic is melting. Apparently, pardon the sarcasm, there's a view of more record snow in the northern hemisphere for 3 years in a row. Yes, 3 winters in a row. We see 2 standard deviations above normal snowfall in the northern hemisphere, but the mainstream media will continue to talk out its ass and tell you that it's very hot. Here's windy.com's pressure maps. We're letting this advance via the GFS forecast into tomorrow around noontime, where I'll pause it. I posit that CO2 has nothing to do with the Earth's climate. Here is where things will be at 1 p.m. my time. And there are the pressure isobars. Perhaps we'll leave that on tomorrow. Leave us a comment if you have an opinion, as we do take all of our viewers' comments into consideration. And we ignore most of them and do whatever we want. Here's a lightningmaps.org if you've never checked it out. It's blitzortung.org or lightningmaps.org. It's good times. Pretend you're Thor and scare your friends and impress your foes and scare them too. If you're in Oklahoma City, go outside and look northwest. There is quite an active lightning storm. Check it out. There is thunder rolling in, Enid, and you're probably in the crosshairs. We'll show you the radar momentarily. First, water vapor maps for Europe and Africa. Water vapor maps for the Far East and Oceania. And thanks to all our international viewers, water vapor maps for the Americas. And once again, since we're streaming live, you got to see what I'm clicking here to get these wonderful images from the NASA GOES interactive water vapor satellite. There you go. There's that. And just bear with me one moment. Again, please leave us a comment on whatever platform you're viewing. We read all comments. We just don't have the capacity to respond to them all. And we've been naming anticyclones, so that's part of the reason why I'm taking a hard look at this. Michael Mann, you're getting a pass again today. Here's where the clouds lie in the U.S. As when it's dark, we use the shortwave radiation satellite to estimate where clouds are, and it's a pretty good estimate. And check it out. That is a significant cloud system once again. And that's moving a little bit to the south. It's moving pretty much southeast there. Great examples of Hall current streamers here coming out of the northern reaches of that. Or there's probably a big pressure gradient and a lower system of moisture underneath that upper level low. Here's a U.S. water vapor map. And this is always interesting as well. This will give you a better idea of how the storm will move. And part of the reason why it's going to stagnate here is because it's butting up against this dry mass of air. If you're wondering why dry air is more massive, it's because of the molecular mass of nitrogen versus water vapor, and the more water vapor you get percentage-wise in the atmosphere, the less massive it becomes. And let's zoom in on that convergence zone. Oklahoma, you are today's convergence zone. And thanks to all our viewers, wherever you're viewing from, leave us a comment if you've never done so before. Let us know your location. Massive pressure gradients there. If you're flying around these areas on an airplane, expect to have some turbulence. And here's a U.S. Doppler Radar Map, courtesy Weather Underground. It's wunderground.com. wunderground.com. By the way, windy.com has a wonderful mobile app. You may consider using that. Some thunderstorms over North Carolina and Virginia, as well as off the coast, probably making for some great Outer Banks surfing. By the way, thanks to the SMASH team. Please don't forget to share the content on your social media. Try to help us reach, 2,000 subscribers. I don't care. It's completely fine for us to be buried in search algorithms. Thanks for flying American Smashways as I vanish. I think I vanished. I vanished. Please keep your head and arms inside the SMASH plane at all times. We've got 3 bonus features. It's the intensity gram of the sun to show you no sunspots. Here's the colorized magnetogram to show you some very minor areas of magnetic organization. It's a weak sun once again, folks. How about a 304 angstroms view? The kind of fiery red view to close things out. It's 48 hours of data from SDO. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink it. If you do, don't drive. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. And since it'll never be now again, may that covidiocy be absent from your plane of existence.